All right, guys. So Trump gave, I think this is his first interview since being found guilty of 34 crimes. He went to Fox and Friends, his little safe space, where they kind of threw softballs down the center of the plate for him, but also seemingly edited the interview, which is something they never do. They never do. So then, of course, it opens the question, well, what the fuck were they trying to hide? Like, what did he say that they were like, hey, man, we got to help you out here? But anyway, we got a bunch of clips to get to, so let's get into it. Look, the first one is kind of crazy. He's sort of like, yeah, all right, put me in jail, bro. What? All right, here we go.
When it comes to the legal maze that you're still facing, and the judge could decide to say, hey, house arrest or even jail.
It could.
I'm
okay with it. I saw one of
house arrest or even jail. I'm okay with it. Oh, are you? Are you?
Lawyers the other day on television saying, oh, no, you don't want to do that to the president. I said, you don't beg for anything. You just, the way it is. Think of it. They have all my books.
That's the cut. That's the cut.
When it comes to the legal maze that you're still facing, and the judge could decide to say, hey, house arrest or even jail.
It could.
What that could.
I'm okay with it. I saw one of my lawyers the other day on television saying, oh, no, you don't want to do that to the president. I said, you don't beg for anything. You just, the way it is. Think of it. They have all my books.
What did he say that they cut out there? Okay, look, I have a guess. It's pure speculation. But my guess is he does the thing like, sending me to jail. I mean, they should be sent to jail. He should be sent to jail. This judge is a disgrace. And then they probably looked at that and thought, hey, man, this is the guy who's going to fucking determine what your sentence is. Let's chop that out because you keep giving him more ammunition to be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to lock your ass up. Wow. By the way, there's some reporting from behind the scenes, his inner circle, that like, this is not how he really feels. He's obviously fucking terrified of actually being put behind bars. Okay, all right, let's keep going.
Set the arraignment date for 4 days before the RNC.
Yeah, well, that's part of the game.
It is. Some have suggested you could appeal straight to the Supreme Court because of the special nature of this case. When it comes to the legal maze that you're still facing, and the judge could decide to say, hey, house arrest or even jail.
It could.
What that could.
I'm okay with it. I saw one of my lawyers the other day on television saying, oh, no, you don't want to do that to the president. I said, you don't beg for anything. You just, the way it is. Think of it. They have all my books. They went to, for 5 years, they sued me getting my tax returns, right? At the end of 5 years, they got them. The Supreme Court actually gave it to them. That was the end of it. That was it. They never found anything. They hired the best accounting firms. I had a pure gold firm. They call it a gold-rated firm. I don't know what it's supposed to be. Who knows? But with all that stuff, for years you heard about my tax.
They never looked into the Clinton Foundation.
And they never found it. They never went all the way with the Clinton Foundation. They never went all the way with the Clinton Foundation, which is sort of interesting, isn't it? But so that could happen. I don't know that the public would stand it. I'm not sure the public would stand for it. With a
tried house arrest or
I think it would be tough for the public to take. At a certain point, there's a breaking point.
So look, I don't know about that. Look, it's possible that he's right, that like his people start rioting and going crazy and doing all sorts of shit. That's absolutely possible. We saw that on January 6th. But it's also possible that this ends with a dud, no matter what happens with him, whether it's house arrest or prison or probation or community service or whatever. It's possible it ends with a dud. And the reason I say that is because there were instances where Trump called for massive protests at like some court appearance he had, an arraignment or whatever the fuck. And nobody showed up. Or it was like, fewer than a dozen people. Because a lot of these people in MAGA feel like, hey, with January 6th, we were set up and we were infiltrated by the feds and they're just trying to get us. And so if Trump's calling for protests, well, everything's infiltrated, so we can't really go because I don't want to go to prison myself, right? So that's also certainly possible. Still got more. This one is really something.
I want to follow up on what Rachel asked you, though, because I hear you struggling with it. I hear you say it's a tough question, a bit unsure. You famously said regarding Hillary Clinton, lock her up. You declined to do that as president.
I beat her. It's easier when you win. And they all said lock her up. And I felt, and I could have done it, but I felt it would have been a terrible thing. And then this happened to me. And so I may feel differently about it. I can't tell you, I'm not sure I can answer the question. Hillary Clinton, I didn't say lock her up, but the people would all say lock her up, lock her up.
He said, I didn't say lock her up. The people would say lock her up. What an unbelievable lie. Holy shit.
I'll tell you something, though. It is very lock them up. You should lock them up. Lock up the Bidens. Lock up Hillary. Lock them up.
This is just one example. We could have pulled like 20 different videos of him saying it. He said it in a fucking debate. He said it in a debate with Hillary. Remember the famous, you can't trust him with power because you'd be in jail. God, what an unbelievable liar. He lies like he breathes. It's incredible. How can you say that? Everybody knows you said lock her up.
I didn't say lock her up, but the people don't say lock her up, lock her up. Okay. Then we won. And I said pretty openly, I say, all right, come on, just relax. Let's go. We're going to make our country great.
Yeah.
And it would have been, think of it, you lock up the wife of a president of the United
They
States.
want to lock you up over 130,000.
Oh my God. Oh, locking up your political opponents is so bad and so wrong. It's really crossing a red line. Bro, who are you kidding? You always say Biden should be locked up. It's always your opponents you think should be locked up, but you shouldn't be locked up. But now when you're directly called out on it, it's, I didn't even know. I said you shouldn't even really go after Hillary. Don't lock up anybody because, I mean, it's crossing a red line.
An accounting thing. And she
A perfectly stated accounting thing. But, you know, people also say, can you
Perfectly stated accounting thing. That's hilarious.
bring the country together? And the answer is yes. Success will bring the country together because I had it together. Before the China virus came in, I had it together. We really had it together.
Yeah, he gets a mulligan, he thinks.
And it would have stayed. I think it would have stayed. Everybody was doing better. The country was doing better than it had ever done. And we're going back to those same policies and then some.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Do I still have more? Jesus Christ.
When they say that the seas will rise over the next 400 years, 1/8 of an inch, you know, which means basically you have a little more beachfront property, okay?
Imagine at this late date not being an oil executive and still downplaying climate change. Every day I'm seeing new terrifying information. The ocean current collapsing. Now the Atlantic Ocean is the hottest it's ever been, ever. And if we get a certain thing to happen with the tides, we're going to have the worst hurricane season of fucking all time. Right? The coral reef are bleaching like a motherfucker. Certain areas are becoming uninhabitable. You're breaking heat records all over the place. Mexico City is running out of water. Every day I'm seeing more and more terrifying things like, well, in 400 years, the ocean's going to rise 1/8 of an inch, which just means more beachfront property. It just means more beachfront property? That's your fucking glib-ass reaction? Oh, my God.
The seas are going to rise. Who knows? But this is the big threat. I watched Biden the other night. It's the greatest existential. He loves that word because it's a big word, and he thinks he knows. He doesn't even know what the hell the word means. He goes, it's the greatest existential threat to our country. Global warming.
Do I have any more? Make it stop. Fucking make it stop. All right, I guess we have more.
Now, I'm going to do the big deportation, the biggest ever. Eisenhower did the biggest. This will be bigger. But it's a very tough thing. What they've done to our country is unthinkable, that they could do this. And so many other things. I mean, going to New York, the kids can't have Little League games anymore. It sounds so trivial, right?
Why?
Because the migrants are living in the fields. They have all tents, unless you want to play around the tent.
How can you implement deportations, and do you think the public will have the appetite, the stomach, for watching deportations on their television screen?
Well, that question is so great and so tough. Because, you know, the radical left is going to start saying, oh, look, so you'll get rid of 10 really bad ones. And one, you know, beautiful mother who they think is guilty of something, and maybe she is, maybe. And it'll become a story.
So he's saying some of the people are going to deport. Yeah, every now and then, maybe you'll get a beautiful mother. What? Isn't now the time where you go, no, everybody we're going to kick out are going to be criminals. It's going to be the bad ones. That's what we're going to make sure of that. No, he's saying, yeah, some percentage of them, sure, they'll be beautiful mothers. Maybe they did something, maybe they didn't do something. Jesus Christ, man. That's fucking dark. That is so dark. God, and by the way, we've gone through the numbers. You guys know, even the right-wing libertarian Cato Institute did a study on this, and both documented immigrants and undocumented immigrants commit crimes at a lower rate than natural-born U.S. citizens. So the whole, like, criminals, crime, MS-13, it's such a fucking bogus narrative. Jesus, man. This is, even for Trump, that's dark.
And one, you know, beautiful mother who they think is guilty of something, and maybe she is, maybe. And it'll become a story. Or a family that's a good family and came in wrong, and, you know, they're going to show it. Then it's going to always be tough. It's not going to be easy. And we have to use a lot of good judgment. But the way you get rid of them is the local police. You know, the local police know these people by their first name, their middle name, and their last name. The local police are great. They're just not allowed to do their job.
Yeah, because local police are not in the business of fucking federal deportation. What? You don't know that? You were president for 4... Oh, my God.
They're afraid of losing their wife or husband. They're going to lose their house. They're losing everything. And one of the things I'm doing is giving local police immunity from prosecution. They get prosecuted when they do their.
So you're going to have local police round up immigrants and ship them out of the country, and then you're going to give them all immunity?
They get like your soldiers when they do their job. When they watch department stores being raided by 500 people, well, guys are walking out with television sets, and they're told to stand back. Okay, they're told to stand back, do not do anything, and they go into these stores, these big stores that have.
What the fuck does brazen ass crime, which of course should be punished, you should arrest people who are doing massive, robbery sprees, duh. What the fuck does that have to do with rounding up immigrants and kicking them out of the country, and by your admission, some of them are going to be beautiful mothers? Jesus Christ.
Opened 2 years ago, and they spent $25 million to build a store. And the stores are empty down to the shelves. They even take the shelves out. They take everything. And the cops are standing there. They don't want to be standing there. They want to do their job. You know who's great? The Border Patrol. The Border Patrol, I know them so well. They endorse me. They always endorse me. They say when Trump comes back, it'll all be better.
He always sounds like he's running for, fifth grade class president, right? When I get in there, everything will be better. Only I can fix it. Jesus Christ. All right, so this is his post-guilty interview. Look, I wish I could tell you guys I know what's going to happen with sentencing, but I really don't. I've seen good arguments on both sides in terms of what's going to happen, right? The fact is the judge makes the decision, and Trump has been relentlessly going after this judge, basically putting a target on him, putting a target on his family, putting a target on the witnesses and the jurors, and he's been acting totally unhinged. Apparently, there's some rumbling that he didn't even fill out his fucking probation paperwork, which he has to do at this point since he was found guilty. He's given every single excuse in the book for him to say, you know what, you're going to prison. But at the same time, you also have experts who are saying a 77-year-old man with no prior history in a situation like this, there's no way he's getting any fucking jail time. Never mind the fact that he's an ex-president, and of course that's going to weigh in his favor. I don't fucking know, man. I just hope the judge has the balls to do the right thing, but we shall see. But man, I'm curious what they cut out of here. But the fact that Trump was basically like, yeah, okay, maybe send me to jail, okay. Maybe that'll come back to bite him. But the other thing which was going to come back to bite him, apparently, that they cut it out for him. I would love to know what he said there. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.